Hi, welcome back to the types of heuristics lessons. Now today we are going to look at area and parameter, and we are going to apply methods on how to find the area of a shape by naming the parts of a figure. Alright, so let's look at example 1 and let's read the question. Now find the area of the figure, which is made of two identical rectangles and a square. So how do we find this area of this figure? Now, one of the ways that we can do is by naming the parts. So for example, you can see that I can call this part, right, this unshaded part, or this area or this part, I can call it A. And then there's a overlapping part, there's an overlapping like a square, I call it B. And then I call the other parts, the other unshaded part, I call it C. Alright, so you have different parts with different letters. Alright, now why do we do this way? Now, because it will help you to work out the answer easily. Alright, and you don't have to think so much, right? Think so hard on how to work out the answer. Now, for example, if you have two identical rectangles, then the length of a rectangle is 15 and the breadth will be 7 meters, right? So, what is the area of this rectangle? I will write down A plus B, which is the rectangle, right? A plus B will be length times breadth, or 15 meter times 7 meter, and the area of this rectangle is 105 cm square. Alright, then how about B and C, which is the other identical rectangle? So the other identical rectangle, which I call B and C, that will be also 105 cm square. So there's no need for me to write down 15 times 7 again, because the two rectangles are identical. Alright, then how do I find B? Right, what's the area of B, which is a square? So B will be 3 cm length times length. Right, that's the formula to find the area of a square. So 3 times 3 and you will get 9 cm square. Alright, now why do we do this? Why do we name the parts? Alright, because we are going to compare the statements, or what you call equations, right? Compare the sentences and then see whether can we find the whole area. Now, if you look at B is 9 cm square. So which means that if I look at any of the sentence, can you see A plus B? Right, and B is 9 cm square. So can I find what is A? So A will be 105 minus 9, and A will be 96 cm square, right? Okay, then how about C? Right, what is C? Alright, now if B is 9 cm square, then C must be 105 minus 9, and C will be 96 cm square as well. Alright, so now what is the area of the whole figure? So you have A plus B plus C. Okay, so A plus B and plus C. That will give you the area of the whole figure. So what is A? A is 96. Okay, so A is 96 cm square. And then B is 9 cm square. And then C is also 96 cm square. So you can find the area of the whole figure. So your answer, if you add them all together, you will get 201 cm square, which is the area of the whole figure. So that's called name the parts, right? Name the parts to find the area. Alright, so when do we apply this method? When you find that the usual method of finding area, and area is a little bit hard, like for example length times breadth, you find that it's still hard to get the answer, then you apply. Think of methods like name the parts, alright, to help you to work out, to get the area of the figure. Okay, now let's go to number 2, right? Number 2, and now you have triangles. So how do we find the shaded triangle? Okay, now again I name the parts, right? So I will have A, B, and C. Okay, so I would like to find the area of this triangle, which is the red color triangle. So what's the area of this triangle? That will be A plus B. So A plus B is equal to half times base times height. So in your triangle lesson, the base is always the horizontal line of a triangle. So once you see the horizontal line, that will be the base. So half times 8 cm. Right, half times 8 cm. And the height is always right angle to the base, which is the vertical line. That's the height. So which is 5 cm. So you have 8 times 5, and then 40 divided by 2, that will be 20 cm square. Okay, or in my lessons on triangles, you learn how to cancel. You divide by 2, and 8 divided by 2, you get 4. So you have 4 times 5, 20 cm square. Okay, so A plus B is 20 cm square. Then how about the other triangle? Do you see the other triangle, which is not right angle? So this is the other triangle, which is B plus C. So B plus C is equal to the area, or is equal to what? Area of the triangle, which is half times base times height. So what's the base? Now again, in this blue color triangle, you don't see a horizontal line, but you see a what? You see a vertical line. So if you see a vertical line, that can also be the base. So it's either horizontal line or a vertical line, which can be the base. So the base is 5 cm. And then what's the height? Now the height is right angle to the base. So where is the height? Now the height is actually your 4 cm. Okay, that's the height. Alright, which is right angle to the base. Can you see the base? Right? So the base has to be perpendicular to the height. The two lines, the height and the base, they must meet at a right angle point. Okay, so the height is 4 cm. So now can you find the area of this blue color triangle? So 5 times 4, 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10 cm square. Okay, so yeah, B plus C equal 10 cm square. And then you can see that the figure A, B, C, D, E, which is the whole figure, which is A plus B and plus C, that will give you an area of 26 cm square. Okay, alright, so what do we do next? You want to find B, which is the shaded part. Okay, compare the statements and do some comparison. Like for example, A plus B is 20. So which means that over here, okay, what is A plus B? Over here. So you have 20 cm square. A plus B is 20 cm square. Then what is C? C will be 26 minus 20. That will be 6 cm square. Right? So you got your C already. And if C is 6 cm square, let's look at other sentence to find out what is B. If C is 6 cm square, then your B must be 10 minus 6. That will be 4 cm square. So what is the shaded triangle? The shaded triangle is 4 cm square. Okay, so that's how you work out, right? That's how you find the shaded part using naming, right? You name the parts to help you to work out the answer. So when do we actually use naming? What is a good, or what are clues, or when do we know that we use naming? Now, if you see figures that are overlapping each other, like in the earlier question, you have two rectangles that overlap, right? Overlap and form a square. So if you look at the previous question, you can see that you have a diagram, two rectangles, and they overlap to form a square. So if you see overlapping, you may want to use, you can use name the parts, right? Use the method. And in question number 2, do you see overlapping as well? Do you see two triangles? They kind of join together, and then you can see that they overlap as well. So when you see overlapping, you can think of this method, which is name the parts. Alright, now let's look at number 3, practice problem. And again, you have 3 triangles that join together, alright, and there is an overlapping area. So we can think of naming. So I'll give you about 5 to 10 minutes. Can you work out, see whether you can work out the answer, and then once you have gotten the answer, you can replay the video. Alright, your time starts now. Okay, so have you solved the problem? Okay, let's read. The figure is made of 3 identical triangles. So where are the 3 identical triangles? So you have one triangle here, which is the green color, and then you have another blue color triangle, which is here, and then you have another triangle, which is here. So there are 3 identical triangles, and each identical triangle has an area of 240 meters square, and the area of the whole figure is 630 meters square. Wow, so how do you find? So can you find the shaded area, which is the overlap, right? This is the shaded part that you're asked to find. Alright, now, very complicated. For questions like this, especially when you have overlapping, what do I think of? I will think of naming, right? Name the parts. Like, so you have A, then you have B, C, and D. Alright? And then what do? Then you form sentences out of these parts. Like for example, each identical triangle has an area of 240 meters square. So A and B, that will give you the area of a triangle, which is 240 meters square. And then the other triangle is B and C, right? The blue color triangle that you see. Alright, B and C is also 240 meters square. And then the red color triangle will be B and D. Right, so B plus D is also 240 meters square because all the triangles are identical. Okay, and then what else? And then you have the area of the whole figure. So what's the area of the whole figure? Which is A, B, C, D, right? So A plus B plus C and then plus D, that will give you the whole figure, which is 630 meter square. Okay? Alright, so how do we find the shaded area, which is the letter B? So how do we find B? Well, there are a few ways to do that. Okay, there are a few ways. So let's look at one easy way. Now, you can look at all the triangles by itself, like A plus B is 240, B plus C 240, B plus D 240. Can you add them all together? Right, so add them all together, and then what do you get? So A plus, how many B's do you see? You have 1, 2, 3, 3 B's. Alright, 3 B's, and then plus 1 C, and then plus 1 D. Alright, and you add all the letters together, and don't forget to also add all the numbers here. All the numbers, you add them all together. So 240 times 3, and you will get 720 meter square. Okay, now you still remember the elimination, right? In one of our lessons on elimination, we get rid of what we don't want. So what can we get rid of? We can get rid of A, C, and D. How do we get rid? Okay, so you take top minus bottom, right? For example, A minus A, you get rid of the A's already. How about B minus 3B? Well, we can't do that. B cannot minus 3B because you can't have a small letter, or you can't have a small number minus a big number. So what do? I will just bring down. I can bring down the A, I can bring down the B, I can bring down the C, and I can bring down the D. Alright, so you bring down the sentence, bring down the 630 meter square. Alright, and now you can try to eliminate again. So how do you eliminate? You top minus bottom. Alright, and you always minus the same type, the same thing. So A minus A. Okay, A minus A is 2A, right? 2A. Okay, and then what else? And then you have 3B minus 1B, right? 3B minus 1B, you will get 2B. Alright, and then C minus C, no more. D minus D, also no more. Alright, you've gotten rid of the A, C, and D already. And then 720 minus 630, you will get 90 meter square. So now can you see that your 2B is 90 meter square? So can you find what is 1B? So 1B is, or B, what is B? B is 90 divided by 2, which is 45 meter square. So have you found the shaded part? Well, the shaded part has, you found the shaded part, which is 45 meter square, which is your letter B. Alright, and that's how you solve complicated problems with very strange diagrams. Okay? Alright, so this is how we solve problems, how we find area using the method which is called name the parts, or some people call it naming. So apply the method when you see questions with figures that are very hard to find the area, or you look at this figure and you see that it's hard to use the normal way, hard to do the usual method. Then you think of other ways, which is like naming the parts. Okay, so in the next lesson, we are going to look at more methods, alright, on how to find area and parameter. So stay tuned to the next lesson.